watching Mountaintop's Choice news, weather, and live local sports. WYLN, we're your local network.
Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand in for Paula Degnan. A man from Mahanoy Township is behind bars today after assaulting a woman and abusing a dog late Wednesday. According to Mahanoy Township Police, they responded around 11 p.m. to a reported disturbance at 531 Park Place Road involving a man wielding a knife and abusing an animal. Police found 55-year-old Brian Yasimbuski had pulled a knife on a female and stabbed at her face. Yasimbuski also picked up a small dog by the neck and threw it from the kitchen into the dining area. Yasimbuski was charged with felony attempted aggravated assault, misdemeanor simple assault, misdemeanor recklessly endangering another person, and a summary count of cruelty to animals. He was arraigned and locked up in Schuylkill County Prison after failing to post $25,000 cash bail. Now over to Tamaqua, where a borough man charged with sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl last year waived his right to a preliminary hearing Tuesday afternoon. 34-year-old Craig Allen York is charged with rape, statutory sexual assault by a person 11 years older, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, and involuntary deviant sexual assault of a person less than 16 years old, among other charges. York chose to waive his right to a hearing, and all charges were sent to Schuylkill County Court. According to court papers, the incident occurred last September, but was not reported to authorities until November 4th. York remains free on $100,000 straight cash bail. And now over to McAdoo, where a Hazleton man falsely gave police his father's name during a traffic stop June 18th of last year that involved drugs. McAdoo police originally charged the father, Michael Wisda, but when they recently learned they were given a fake first name, they withdrew the case against Michael to charge his son instead, 45-year-old Eric Wisda. Officers say they found 3 alprazolam pills and 2 heroin bundles in the car during a traffic stop. The backseat passenger admitted the drugs were his, but gave police his father's name. Wisda was charged with 2 counts each, possession of a controlled substance and use or possession of drug paraphernalia, along with a charge of false identification to a law enforcement officer. A Plymouth man has been sentenced to 3 years of probation for his role in a drug trafficking conspiracy, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. 28-year-old Chad Eckrow pled guilty in January of 2018 to a felony count of conspiring to distribute heroin, crack cocaine, and fentanyl. Prosecutors say Eckrow was a drug dealer who helped transport drugs from New York to Pennsylvania for redistribution. He transported more than 22 grams of crack and more than 80 grams of heroin. Eckrow was charged back in June of 2017 with 14 other individuals, all of whom have pled guilty. An agreement was reached between Penn State University and a defunct charity, which was started back in 1977 by convicted child molester Jerry Sandusky. Around $733,000 was left over from the Second Mile, which was created by Sandusky to help at-risk youth. The Attorney General's office is expected to file a final account with the Century County Orphans Court to transfer the money to Penn State. The university will also receive additional payments from entities that insured the Second Mile. Penn State paid out more than $100 million to settle with victims who were abused by Sandusky, along with a federal fine and litigation costs. Sandusky was arrested back in 2011 and convicted on 45 counts of sexual abuse of children in 2012. He's currently serving a 30 to 60-year sentence in state prison. Starting April 1st, an off-ramp on the North Cross Valley Expressway will be closed for repairs. PennDOT will be closing the Exit 3 off-ramp from the southbound lane of the expressway so that workers can replace the bridge deck and barriers. A detour will be set up to take motorists to Exit 2, where they can turn left on Wilkes-Barre Boulevard and get back on the expressway heading northbound and leave from the Exit 3 off-ramp. The construction is scheduled to be completed by the summer of 2020. Shenandoah police are on the lookout for motorists exceeding the speed limit in the borough. The mayor told council at Monday's meeting that police are enforcing a crackdown on speeding daily. The focus of speed enforcement is at the entrances into Shenandoah on Route 924 and 54. Numerous citations were given out in the past 2 weeks. The mayor also addressed comments made on social media about residents trying to contact the police department. He said, if someone calls into the station and no one answers, it means that officers are on the streets. Residents can call the non-emergency number for the Schuylkill County Communications Center at 570-462-1991 to relay a message to a police officer. Parents should check their baby's medicine as bottles of Dollar General's Naturals Baby Cough Syrup Plus Mucus is being recalled. Kingston Pharma is recalling its 2 fluid-ounce bottles because it may be contaminated with Bacillus cereus. The Federal Drug Administration states that Bacillus cereus has the potential to produce either vomiting or diarrhea. Most cases are mild, while severe cases have led to death. No illnesses have been reported to date, and any unused portions should be discarded or returned to the store for a refund. Coming up on WYLN News, a Hazleton attorney will now serve as solicitor for the Luzerne County Flood Protection Authority Board. Plus, Cunningham Borough is looking into connecting both Whispering Willows and Cunningham Nature Park with a walking trail. Details are up ahead. But first, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow will look similar to today, high of 42 and a low of 24, but Saturday should show some sun. Same temperature with a low of 25. Then just 2 more days of dark skies until some sunshine looks like it might peek out next week. We'll be right back.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm going to tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
Hi, I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. Don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown in Hometown Village Square.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from the new Blaze Alexander of Greater Hazleton. Come on up the mountain. We have Buick, GMC, Cadillac, we got Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and Mazda. And we got tons and tons of used cars. Our goal for March, we're gonna sell 150 vehicles out of these 3 locations. Blaze says do whatever it takes, and that's what we're gonna do. If you're in the Greater Hazleton area, or if you hear this or see this commercial, get in your car and come on down. Blaze Alexander of Greater Hazleton. And we do take the deals the other guys won't, guaranteed.
A Hazleton attorney will now serve as solicitor for the Luzerne County Flood Protection Authority Board. Attorney Chris Slusser will be paid $450 a month plus $90 an hour. Last month, the board voted to cut ties with its longtime solicitor, Christopher Cullen, who was paid $900 a month plus $90 an hour. Following the vote to hire Slusser, the board held a discussion about the authority's relationship with Luzerne County. Cunningham Borough is looking into connecting both Whispering Willows and Cunningham Nature Park with a walking trail, as well as some common rules. The borough sent a proposal to the Planning Commission to expand Whispering Willows by consolidating it with adjacent property purchased from the George family at Tuesday's meeting. At the Nature Park, council members expect to receive bids next month for building a picnic pavilion with a state grant of $39,500, and volunteers will plant trees donated by PPL Electric Utilities. Meanwhile, several projects are underway at Whispering Willows. The borough is seeking a permit to shore up the creek bank near the pond at the northeastern edge of the park. Workers would also fix pipes at the pond, where the inlet currently is higher than the outlet. Officials in West Hazleton are building a memorial to honor veterans who served in the Vietnam War. Mayor John Shura, along with Borough President Lou Pacelli and former Mayor Frank Schmidt, are behind the project that will be placed at the corner of North Broad Street and Washington Avenue to the right of the borough's electric community bulletin board. It will feature a soldier and 3 names of West Hazleton natives that died while serving in the war. It will honor George Kendra, Richard Baloconis, and Louis Romanelli. The inscription will read, "All gave some and some gave all. The monument is being crafted by local artist Sal DeFazio. The memorial, which has been funded by donations, is scheduled to be in place by Memorial Day. Donations can still be made and sent to the West Hazleton Borough Building at 100 South 4th Street. The debate continues as to whether cannabis should be legalized in the state of Pennsylvania. Senators Daylin Leach and Sheriff Street from southeastern Pennsylvania introduced a bill earlier this week to legalize recreational marijuana. Closer to home, state senators John Udicic and Lisa Baker have different opinions. Udicic released a statement saying that he's a supporter of the medical marijuana program and is willing to listen to the conversation regarding the full decriminalization of marijuana, but is not committed to the idea. Meanwhile, Baker says that the state is still in early stages of implementing medical marijuana, and without the benefit of additional research, she doesn't support legalizing recreational marijuana. The proposed bill would make it legal for anyone 21 years and older to use recreational marijuana. Growing up to 6 plants in a residence would also be allowed. Pennsylvania lawmakers want to make it harder for officials and government employees convicted of crimes related to their jobs to retain public pensions. The House voted 194-1 on Tuesday to approve legislation that would apply the pension forfeiture law to state and federal felonies and other crimes that could result in at least 5 years behind bars. It would also forfeit pensions when the defendant pleads or is found guilty. Current law imposes pension forfeiture when sentenced. The new Pennsylvania Redistricting Reform Commission is inviting the public to a series of 9 regional meetings to talk about making the redistricting process more fair and nonpartisan. Governor Tom Wolf created the 15-member bipartisan commission by executive order in November. According to the governor's office, the commission will study the best practices in other states and submit a report to the governor and legislature later this year, with recommendations for a nonpartisan redistricting process that safeguards election integrity and fairness. One of those public meetings will be held in our area June 6th at Wilkes University's Henry Student Center on 84 West South Street. The commission also invites Pennsylvanians to provide their comments online at www.governor.pa.gov. Reading Eagle Company, the family-owned business that's published the Reading Eagle newspaper for more than 150 years, is filing for bankruptcy protection. The company, which in addition to the newspaper owns a radio station and other publications, made the announcement to employees Wednesday afternoon. The company will continue to publish and rebroadcast under Chapter 11 bankruptcy rules, while it seeks a buyer to take over the Eagle's news and broadcasting legacy, company officials said. The company has 236 full-time employees and 20 part-time. The first daily Reading Eagle was published on January 28, 1868. Coming up on Honey Hole's News Choice, we take a trip down to the Luzerne County SPCA to learn more about the Spay and Neuter program in this week's Mission Pet Possible. Plus, the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce held their red carpet breakfast this morning with this month's guest speaker, Senator John Udicic. Stay with us.
It's spring, and savings are in the air during the spring sales event at All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop our large inventory and drive off with a great deal. Lease a new Jeep Compass Latitude 4x4 for $189 a month. And during Ram Truck Month, get select Ram 1500 4x4s for as low as $32,890. Or get 0% for 72 months on the Ram 1500. Savings are in the air during the spring sales event at All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
I've always been an active guy. One day, I just didn't feel myself. It was my heart. I went to Lehigh Valley Hospital, Pocono. Turns out I had a serious blockage. Within an hour, I was in bypass surgery. My advice? Listen to your heart. If it wasn't for Lehigh Valley Heart Institute, I might not be here today.
You have one heart and one choice when it comes to the best heart care. The hospitals and heart specialists of the Lehigh Valley Heart Institute.
I survived thanks to the Lehigh Valley Heart Institute.
Spring has sprung and the cat population will be on the rise. It's that time of year when cats, especially strays, breed and cause an overabundance of offspring. Just one unspayed female cat can give birth to nearly 180 kittens over the course of her lifetime. It's very important to control the cat population by having animals spayed or neutered. It can also have other benefits to a pet's health. The Luzerne County SPCA offers eligible residents a low-cost program.
The cat spay neuter program that the SPCA offers is available to moderate-income individuals that the sterilization surgery for their indoor cat is either too expensive or out of reach for some other reason, and we try to make that surgery far more accessible to our community so that we can reduce the overpopulation of domestic companion animals that reside in our community. Ultimately, that's why an organization like this exists, is because of the overpopulation of domestic companion animals.
The funding for the program comes from donations to the Luzerne County SPCA.
Through the generosity of our community, we also have individuals in our community that will provide contributions to that particular program because of their passion and their belief behind the sterilization of domestic companion animals ultimately creates an environment where shelters begin to be less dependent upon in order to provide that respite care.
You can download a Spay and Neuter Assistance Program fact sheet at the Luzerne County SPCA's website. To learn about eligibility requirements, call the SNAP program at 570-824-4172 between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. To help fund the program, you can make a check out to the Spay and Neuter Assistance Program and mail it to the shelter at 524 East Main Street in Wilkes-Barre. Stay tuned next week when we discuss reporting animal cruelty.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice, everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
The Helping Hand Society's annual telethon will be held live April 6th from Genetti Ballrooms in Hazel Township and broadcast on Wyln TV 35. Enjoy local and regional entertainment all day Saturday from noon until 11 p.m. The Helping Hand Society's annual telethon live from the Genetti Ballrooms, 1345 North Church Street in Hazel Township, Saturday, April 6th on Wyln TV 35. For over 25 years, Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg, has provided professionally designed skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields. All stations are handicap accessible with resident NRA certified shooting instructors on site. Packages are available to fit anyone's budget, and there is a restaurant and catering on site. The facility is also available for weddings, business meetings, bachelor parties, private parties of any kind. Call 570-384-2314.
Chamber of Commerce held their red carpet breakfast this morning with this month's guest speaker, Senator John Udicek. The Valley Country Club was packed for Udicek, who gave an update on the state budget that Governor Tom Wolf introduced, which has no tax increase. It also continues historic investments in education on the K-12 public system, as well as higher education. Udicek also recognized the growing importance to invest and build our workforce. He said the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce understands all about workforce development and congratulated them on all of their hard work.
I also wanted to celebrate that we got a booming economy here in northeastern Pennsylvania along the 80 and 81 corridor. A lot of great new businesses here in Greater Hazleton. Irish USA, Highwood USA, Hershey expanded their Kit Kat plant here in Greater Hazleton, and what North Point Development is doing in the South Valley communities of Nanticoke and Hanover Township. A $500 million investment, creating 5,000 jobs at companies like Adidas, Patagonia, True Value, and Chewy.com. Historic investments in the people and places in northeastern Pennsylvania. What better place to celebrate that kind of investment than with our friends here at the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce.
UDCHEC also mentioned Focus 81 and needing the expansion due to all of the congestion on the interstate.
As third-party logistics and e-commerce companies plant their corporate flag in northeastern Pennsylvania, we have to continually invest in infrastructure. That's why I was supportive of Act 89 to put $2.5 billion into new infrastructure in Pennsylvania. That's why I'm a supporter of Restore Pennsylvania. I'm the prime sponsor of the governor's severance tax that would invest in public infrastructure. If you're not investing in infrastructure, you're not going to be creating jobs. So that public investment, that dollar in public investment usually leverages another $9 to $10 in private investment. And that's what we've seen when we built the South Valley Parkway, $90 million public infrastructure project, the new South Valley Parkway, that has already leveraged close to $500 million in private investment. That's how economic development works. That's how we're creating jobs in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Wilkes University will be hosting a summit concerning pain and addiction next month at Mohegan Sun Pocono. It will feature speeches from former professional athletes and keynote speaker, local advocate T. Simpkins, who's the founder of a nonprofit sober living facility. Attendees will hear discussions about alternative therapies in patient care for the treatment of addiction and chronic pain. The summit is scheduled for April 12th at Mohegan Sun Pocono in Plains Township. Registration and breakfast are at 7 a.m., followed by breakout sessions at 8. The cost to attend is $150 for the full-day program and $75 for half-day participation. That's the news. Remember, you can get news updates on our WYLN News Facebook page. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does.